Some things are better left unsaid. Welcome to Beyond the Screen. I'm Nate, and these are the top 10 awkward celebrity interviews that made us cringe. Number 10, Cara Delevingne. Cara is a gifted actor and overall seems like a pretty solid human being, so much like the rest of us, she gets tired and annoyed from time to time. Unfortunately, that feeling took place on live television while she was promoting her movie Paper Towns. While making an appearance on the early morning show Good Day Sacramento, the interview did not get off to a great start. The program's anchor called her Carla, and she then spent the next few minutes trying to get info out of Cara but was failing miserably. Falling deep into the anchor role, she pulled out the old, hey, wow, that's amazing. Listen, Carla, did you read the book that this thing's based on, or did you even have time because you're so busy? She was having none of that. She was very sarcastic with each and every answer to the fairly generic questions. Do you relate to the character? What was your favorite moment? It was then that a third anchor abruptly popped in and asked Cara if she was exhausted, as she seemed a bit more excited to speak about the movie a few weeks prior in London. She giggled and said that she was fine. Apparently the premiere of the film was the night before, which she claimed to feel like the end of an era. But the anchors do not know when to quit. One of the anchors then suggested that she may be irritated, or maybe it was just them. They then cut the interview short and told her to take a nap and get a Red Bull. She can be heard saying, well, that's too far, before the anchor screeches over her and shuts her down. According to Cara, there really was no bad blood. She was just sick of answering the same questions over and over again. Following the interview, the man who popped in and gave his 2 cents was actually fired for causing such a tense situation on live television. Number 9. Robert Downey Jr. Being a part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe means being in a ton of interviews. Robert had the fortune of playing Iron Man for over 10 years, being featured in 11 movies during that time. While doing press for his second round with the Avengers in 2015, he had the misfortune of speaking with a legendarily terrible interviewer named Christian Guru Murphy on Channel 4. Now, I've talked about this guy in another video for making Quentin Tarantino walk out of an interview, and he's making a return for something pretty similar. The interview is uncomfortable from the very beginning. Christian stumbles through his questions as quickly as he can, with Robert doing his best to keep things going along. But instead of asking questions about the movie, Christian decided to probe Robert on his life in prison and with substance control issues. Now, at first he's okay and he answers the question, but then Christian brings up his father and asks if he feels that he has escaped from his dark past. Robert is visibly anxious and he begins breathing heavily to keep himself calm. He asks what they're doing and the team says goodbye. He said Christian seemed nice, but things were getting a little bit too Diane Sawyer. This was one of the most uncomfortable interview moments in Robert's career, not even close to the worst for Christian. Number 8, Sophia Vergara. Fans of the show Modern Family will surely recognize Sophia as Gloria, aka Manny's mom, who is absolutely hilarious and heartwarming at the same time. Now, while speaking with Ellen in 2017 about her career and some new projects, Ellen decided to play a game called English Word of the Day. Claiming to be learning Spanish with one word a day, she wished to teach Sophia one as well. Before the segment, Sophia is roasting Ellen for her dislike of cotton, but when Ellen asks if she wants to learn the English word with her, Sophia scoffs and is visibly annoyed, claiming that she speaks English very well. Ellen gives her the word flabbergasted and asks her to define what it means. Not only does she pronounce it correctly the first time, but she knows exactly what it means. Ellen follows up with discombobulated, which left Sophia confused and thinking very hard, which she butchered the word. While she seemed to be taking things in stride, it turns out that Sophia was absolutely frustrated with participating in the game, as she's a bit self-conscious when it comes to her accent. Many considered the segment to be a little racist and more cringe-inducing than fun. I've seen the clip. That's accurate. Number 7, Zac Efron. Zac is one of the Disney kids that eventually made a name for himself as a legitimate performer, starring in comedy movies like Neighbors and 17 Again, as well as some more dramatic roles like in Charlie's St. Cloud. In 2017, Zac starred alongside Hollywood heavyweight Dwayne Johnson in a revival of the Baywatch series. While promoting the film, Zac stopped by the Ellen DeGeneres show. Oh, look, it's Ellen again! Ellen thought it would be fun to bring out a wax figure of Zac Efron that was on its way to be displayed in a real real Hollywood wax museum. The figure is based on his Baywatch role, meaning that he's shirtless and his abs are present. Zac picks up his own shirt to show the audience the strange similarities, at which time Ellen just rubs his tummy for a moment. Zac then spends a few moments flexing and comparing himself to the statue before complaining that, oh man, it's bigger than he is, seeing Troy from High School Musical flexing next to a statue of himself. Cringy. Number 6. Rachel Zegler. Rachel Zegler's comments about the upcoming live-action Snow White remake could have a massive impact on ticket sales and the overall project, according to branding experts. The 22-year-old actress has received plenty of backlash after she admitted that she actually hated the original 1937 movie and branded the storyline as weird, while referring to the Prince character as just a straight-up stalker. The backlash occurred after several videos of Rachel speaking negatively about the original movie in various interviews last year resurfaced online, where she talked about her version of the character. She said she's not going to be saved by the prince, she's not going to be dreaming about true love. While Disney may just be trying to modernize the classic, the comments have caused her to be labeled as a fake feminist by a lot of people in Hollywood. Some critics accused Rachel of gaslighting, and even one marketing consultant has warned Disney might need to be careful about how they have portrayed Snow White. Because Snow White has already been suffering from backlash well before Rachel made her comments, because Peter Dinklage actually spoke out about Disney not using true dwarf actors for the new film, instead opting to use heavy CGI on Hollywood elites, because that always looks great. Rachel's role as Snow White is currently in the air while she is still casted in the role. Who knows, maybe this whole Hollywood strike thing might be the exact situation the studio needs to kick her out and get someone who's more in line with their themes. Number 5. Robin Williams. We lost one of the greatest performers in our lifetime in 2014, but even 9 years later, his co-stars are still gushing about how impactful this man was in their lives. Robin and Nathan Lane starred together in a film called Birdcage. Now, I've personally never seen it, but considering the cast and ratings for this movie, it's on my list now. Nathan and Robin did interviews together for the film and took some time to sit down with one of the greatest TV hosts of all time, Miss Oprah Winfrey. The interview was on the right track, but then Oprah asks Nathan how he is able to get into the character so well. Nathan, of course, playing a drag queen in the film. At the time, Mr. Lane was not an openly gay man, and he felt like there was no way to tiptoe around this topic without eventually being outed on Oprah's show. After an awkward moment, superhero Robin swoops in, just diverts the conversation to a new topic, and they move on. In interviews from the past couple of years, Nathan has mentioned the Oprah incident and knows there's no ill intention on her part and considers Robin to have saved him from what could have been a very, very awkward moment. Number 4. Dakota Johnson. When Dakota Johnson was a guest on the Ellen DeGeneres show in 2019, she took a more subtle and pulled back approach to addressing an issue with the host. Ellen asked Johnson when her birthday was, and then claimed that she had never received an invite for the party. Then the 50 Shades actor quickly smiled and revealed that she actually had in fact extended the invite to Ellen, but received no reply. Ellen was baffled, asking Dakota if she was sure, and that there was no possible way, to which she replied, "Ask literally anyone here, specifically your producer Jonathan." Following the comment, Ellen is seen searching the room for Jonathan with this mean expression on her face, which is understandable, she just got outed as a liar on her own show. Unfortunately for Ellen, that wouldn't be the last time, as only a few months later, a bunch of news stories and rumors started to circulate about her mistreating her staff, eventually leading to the show's cancellation. Looks like Dakota delivered her 50 Shades of oops. Number 3. Brie Larson. Brie was announced as the newest member of the Marvel Universe in 2019, starring in the film Captain Marvel as the titular superhero. At first, people were pretty excited to see what Marvel would do with the property. Captain Marvel is one of their original superheroes. However, when the movie was actually released, fans were very upset with her performance. According to them, she was stale and seemed bored from start to finish. When asked about the online hate at D23's red carpet last year, Brie said she's not sure if she'd even continue to play the character beyond her upcoming Captain Marvel sequel, The Marvels. She's aware of all the hate surrounding her character and defends the role by telling people that that's how she was told to play it, but it's also Brie Larson, she's always been stiff, but it's kinda why she's funny. The moment was extremely uncomfortable, with many fans calling for her to be fired from the role if she hated it so much. It's not that she hates the role, it's that she hates the people who hate her. Number 2. Paris Hilton. Paris is the originator of the phrase famous for being famous. This woman made headlines many times over the years for a little bit of everything. In 2011, Paris appeared on ABC to discuss her career, personal life, and the recent situations that she had been dealing with involving stalkers. During the interview, she revealed a few things about her life that had previously just been speculated, like the fact that she used a higher-pitched baby voice on her show Simple Life, but had a much deeper and more serious tone in real life. But the conversation eventually ventures into uncharted waters. The interviewer asks Paris if she felt that her former friend and protege Kim Kardashian had overshadowed her in the eyes of the media. Paris says nothing, looks to her publicist, and then goes to stand up. They almost wrap the entire interview, but eventually things simmered down and they were able to clear things up. However, the moment stuck with fans of Hilton immediately and begged the question, why is she so uncomfortable to talk about this? Is it because it's true? Well, it turns out the world answered that question for her, as Kim's show Keeping Up with the Kardashians made it big, and Paris Hilton's show, well, it was cancelled after one season, so yikes. Number 1. David Letterman. After many years of being extremely odd towards his female guests, I could not pick one single interview. So the number 1 spot just goes to David Letterman in general. There are several examples over the years of David being a little bit too intimate with his guests, including a time when he would not stop telling Jennifer Aniston how good her legs looked in her dress. He literally told Madonna to go kiss a man in the audience for fun. He called Keira Knightley a lovely offering. He told Dolly Parton he wanted to see her sweaty. The list goes on. It took way too long for someone to realize that this dude was just a bit too open at times, sharing just all the information that's just too much, way too much. One thing he continued to do right up until he retired in 2014 was show revealing or intimate photos of his guests without their knowledge, like when Emma Watson was forced to explain a wardrobe malfunction after David pulled out a photo from a recent red carpet event. He brushed people's hair, he made dirty jokes, like seriously, this dude was obsessed with legs. In fact, one of the last interviews that ever took place on his show was the previously mentioned Jennifer Aniston incident, where he just sat there commenting on her looks for like the entire thing. While his career was never actually destroyed, I thought it would be a nice mention because, hey, this is a list of people who have done some pretty weird stuff on interviews, so David's not an exception. Those are the interviews that made us cringe. Did we miss any truly terrible moments? Let us know in the comments below, and hey, maybe a part 2 will get released, you never know. Drop a like on this video, and hey, follow the channel if you haven't already. Thanks for stopping beyond the screen, and we'll see you next time.